Chris Cooper was on the Sevan Podcast on August 23rd to discuss our annual State of the Industry report. To be part of it, fill out our survey via the link in the show notes. Now, here are Coop, Sevan, and Matt Souza in a special presentation of the Sevan Podcast.
Bam, we're live. Matt Souza on the right, Sevan on the left, matching apparel, of course. Dead center. Two Brain Business founder, Chris Cooper. What's up, dude? Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, you know, I have CEO printed on stuff, but it's baby onesies that we send to gym owners who have babies.
You'll be hearing from my lawyers.
The baby onesie.
Yeah, baby onesies. I can drape them over my shoulder maybe and something like that. You know.
Before we get started, I want you guys to know that the State of the Industry report, this is the one from last year.
Yeah.
The surveys that make up this great indispensable book for all gym owners. I would say even business owners, if you just want to see just what a State of the Industry report looks like, but absolutely a must have for all gym owners. It's free. It's put out by Two Brain. It's beautiful. It's easily, what's that called when you can eat something, process something? Consume. Palatable, easily palatable with big pictures, the numbers are big, the print's big. And tons of information. So the survey is for all gym owners to take. A link for the survey will be in all of our show notes moving forward until the survey closes. How long is the survey open?
Till mid-September, 13th, I think.
Okay.
Do it today.
Yeah, do it today. Why do on tomorrow what you can do today? Why is it important for affiliate owners and gym owners to participate in the survey?
That's a big question, but the bottom line is like, this is how we help gyms grow. And we don't just do this for people who are in the Two Brain mentorship program. We publish this and give it away to anybody who wants it. And, every micro gym owner is kind of like an island unto themselves out there. They're trying to figure things out. They're doing little experiments, but that takes way too long and it's way too expensive. And if you screw something up, like it really hurts your business. So what we started doing back in 2018, first I pitched this to CrossFit HQ and they didn't want to do it. So we just started doing it. We started collecting data from as many gyms as we could through the survey and then through partnerships like Wodify, Push Press, Kilo, and figuring out like what exactly are gyms doing. I mean, if you're a gym owner out there and you want to know how much should I charge? Like the best thing to do is not go into a Facebook group and say, how much does everybody charge? The best thing to do is say, well, looking at the data from 15,000 gyms around the world, here's the average price of a CrossFit class, and like, that's in here. How many clients does the average gym have? Like that's in here, right? And then that'll help you build a business model.
The average trainer make?
Exactly.
What are the best hours? When do clients show up to the gym? During which hours are the busiest classes? Yep. Everything.
Yeah, everything. Like you want to know that stuff so you can make decisions. And, the reason that gyms fail is not because the founders run out of passion or they just hate the job. It's like they run out of money because they don't know how to make business decisions and they can't make business decisions without data. So we just collect the data, invest in publishing it and analyzing it, and then just give it out for free. And we ship thousands of copies of this every year on my dime, and we give it out in digital format to thousands more.
Just a quick personal training. How much the average gyms charge? Nutrition coaching. How much money? How many gyms do it? How much money does that bring into gyms? How much does it cost them? How many people use it? Gyms that sell supplements. What part of their revenue is that? Online coaching statistics. Is that valuable? How much do people charge? How many gyms do that? How long the retention for people in gyms? What's the average? It goes on and on with every question you could want. Cost for a coach to run a class, as I mentioned.
How much are you paying?
How much are you paying? Number of full-time coaches versus part-time coaches. You see all the ratios for all the gyms on what they do there. New member retention. I mean, it's all in here. Running ads. Who runs ads? What value do you get from ads? And this is all. These aren't Chris's words. These are from 15,000 gyms around the world, of which about 50% of them are CrossFit gyms.
Yep, exactly. Yep. And this year we'll segregate them out a little bit more too, so that you can see like what is the average price for a CrossFit membership versus what is the average price for, strength and conditioning gym membership. And, we do want people to be making the best decisions they can. And so we'll just continue to collect a bigger and bigger data set and then, make it clearer and clearer for them.
And like Chris said, he started this in 2018. This is, I've started my collection. I have the 2022 and 2023. But they also, as these grow, you can start comparing them from year to year, and there's all sorts of charts and graphs on that. So there's even things in there, the mood of the community, the happiness of the gyms, how long has your gym been open, what would you like to see from leadership? There's some things that are building from survey to survey that are fascinating also.
Yeah, it's really fun to see the trends change over time. Like, the pricing is going up, which is good. Some of the messaging about pricing is starting to reach people, and people are focusing their attention on things that will actually make a difference in their business now, which is great. And this is just how science is done. You start with, here's everything that you could possibly do in your business, and let's cut out the things that don't work and focus on the things that do. And, this is what's helped Two Brain. It took us like 7 years to produce the first 26 millionaires in Two Brain and 7 months to produce the next 26. And it's not that they're doing things dramatically different. It's just that they're not wasting time doing the stuff that wastes time. Like, they're not doing more things. They're not doing different things. They're just not spending time on things that don't work. And to me, this was the process of developing CrossFit too. You start with a blank whiteboard of, let's write down everything that might improve fitness, and then slowly discard the things that don't improve fitness so that we can focus just on the things that do. And that's how science works. And that's what we're doing here.
To your knowledge, is there another data set, more robust or equal to what the state of the industry puts out for microgyms?
Nothing even close to the size. I mean, microgyms, no, not even close. There are people who do surveys out there of a couple of hundred people. Ursa, they're gone now, but they used to be like the biggest lobby, I guess, in fitness. And they did something like this, but their best year, they might've got 10,000 gyms to participate. Ours is just micro gyms, and we had 15,000 last year, and it gets bigger every year too. So it makes us the most relevant data set out there. And what's happened is that all of these other people who used to do a smaller collection are now just turning to ours and either using ours for free and giving us credit, or using it for free, claiming that it's their own. And, it's funny to go on YouTube and watch these guys like rip the cover off and then read from our data set as if it's something revolutionary. It's amazing. Yeah. But it feels good.
I know it was cited as HQ's data set to look at what was happening as well. So that's a pretty big deal right there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So we like to be independent, so that we can be objective about what's happening at HQ and in all the gyms. And, in 2018, when HQ declined the opportunity to do this, I was pretty, beat down for a couple of hours, but eventually just realized like the data can be better when it comes from somebody outside because it's objective.
Mm.
Also, not only were there other people out there doing it who aren't doing it, but then they're now pushing people to Two Brain. It's not a competition. It's become a let's push gyms to Two Brain. It's widely accepted as the place to, hey, let's just give all our numbers to Chris and make him print this shit out. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's not cheap. Like if I'm Ursa, for example, I mean, it's going to cost $250,000 to collect this stuff, publish it, lay it out, ship it. Why not just let Coop do it? And that seems to be the sentiment.
And what do you get out of it on a personal level?
Well, personal level is just, the mission continues. Like the biggest tragedy, I think, in our industry is we have the solution to the world's biggest problem. That solution is coaching. It's not knowledge. And every year, 10,000 new fitness coaches sign up to continue the mission. But every year, 9,000 of them go bankrupt. And like, they're not quitting because they're unhappy. They're quitting because they're broke. They're not quitting because like they've changed their mind about fitness. They're quitting because they're broke. And the biggest thing that we can do to enable these people to stay in business and keep changing, 100 lives a year for 30 years is just arm them with the knowledge that they need to make money. And when I was in their shoes, I didn't have any of this. I was treating my gym like a petri dish, testing one thing after another. And, it was really hurting me. So this is just our way of kind of like empowering the industry to move forward. And it's working. You can see it. Like the average revenue in gyms is climbing every year, and the average lifespan of a gym owner is lengthening, and coaches are actually making a living now. And that comes from knowledge, and the knowledge comes from data instead of the same old myths.
If I could take a stab at that, answering that question too.
Yeah.
Souza asked, what's the value to Two Brain Business doing it? Well, you said 9 out of 10 people who want to become coaches end up quitting because they can't make it work, not because they hate coaching. Well, the service that you provide is the inverse of that. 90% of the people who do become clients of Two Brain Business have an uptick in financial success to prolong their life in the business. And part of that is you guys being the experts on the knowledge that you collect.
As where it really starts. Yeah, thank you.
Just another thing, just so those of you who don't know Chris, so obviously I profess myself to be the most knowledgeable person on all things CrossFit in the CrossFit space. Behind the, I know, what an arrogant douche. Behind CrossFit, in the community, inside CrossFit, outside of CrossFit. And while my tenure at CrossFit, we would throw affiliate gatherings. And it's not easy to get affiliates to come because they have to take time of work and they have to pay money and all of this stuff. Well, Chris, this year, again, through an affiliate gathering in Chicago, I talked to him on the phone and he's like, oh man, he's like, we had 1,000 people show up and we only had 1,000 seats. And he's like, man, I should have made it bigger. I should have done this. And he's like, I can't believe how great it is. Well, yesterday an affiliate called me and told me, I haven't told you this, Souza. I said, hey, you should listen to the show tomorrow. We're going to have Cooper on. And he's like, oh, dude. He's like, I'm not even a Two Brain Business member. And I snuck into their Chicago affiliate gathering. He said it was the greatest 2 days ever. I'm like, you snuck in? He goes, yeah. I'm like, yes, Souza used to do stuff like that. That's awesome. Greatest compliment ever, right? People trying to break into your summit. I mean,
oh yeah. I mean, people trying to steal our stuff I love it so much because it's unstealable. We'll just give it to you.
Right.
But like, if this person had called me, and by the way, you don't have to be in Two Brain to come to our summit, but I think it's awesome that this person snuck in. So
yeah, he knew the value of it. He snuck in. Yeah, me too. And he said it was absolutely fantastic. He said he met tons of great people. Summit crashers is a thing. Yes, see, that's awesome.
Next year, I'm standing Khalipa at the door instead of on the stage. So,
yeah, there you go.
I mean, earn your way in.
Get a little muscle out there.
Swagger down the street with your red lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die. Hey, swing those hips around. Can't stop, roll back down. My ladies, short, tall, thin or wide, always down and ready to ride.
Chris, when people open a gym, do they? What percentage of your clients, if you don't mind sharing this, come to you when they first open the gym versus after they've been open for a while?
It's 10% come to us before they've opened. And those are, man, I am just so excited for them because every mistake that you make on opening takes at least 6 months to fix. And what happens, unfortunately, is like you open up and you make a mistake and it's around pricing. Oh boy. Well, okay. And it's because, we're all first-time entrepreneurs. I think Greg's biggest gift was he launched 30,000 small businesses, but we're all first-timers. And so how do we price? I don't know. Like, what's Matt's gym doing? Geez, we don't have this kind of data. So we look at what the last gym is doing. And, I just quit that gym. I'm going to start my own. I'm going to price it $5 cheaper. And so the value goes down, down, down. It takes years to fix that. And we work really hard with gyms to fix that. But some of them, they go out of business before they can fix it. So the new gyms coming in to Two Brain before they open, they don't make those mistakes. And what's bananas is that like within 2 years, they're making $100,000 take home, and they've got like a full-time coach. I mean, it took me 10 years to get to that point, and it's because I had to make every mistake myself. I didn't have anybody to point to that said, here's the actual average. I believed a lot of the stuff that was coming from the CrossFit message board, and some of that was wrong or some was fake. And, there was no like guiding light of truth. And so when new gyms come into our program, I have massive optimism for them. Gym ownership is like, it's a hard business, but it's one of the easiest to start. You can start a gym for $5,000, right? You print up your A-frame, you put a QR code on it, you buy 3 barbells and 3 kettlebells and 3 wall balls from Rogue, and you go to the park. And that is how you start a gym. And a gym, we all know, it's a community more than it is a physical space. You start to build that community in the park and in church basements and in public school gymnasiums. And eventually you move into a facility and you grow from there. You don't have to do it the way that you see on main site. If you go to HQ right now and you click on the open an affiliate, they're going to tell you it costs $160,000 to start a CrossFit affiliate.
Really? Is that true? It says that on there?
Yeah, go ahead and look at it. Yeah.
It's a filter. They're just trying to pick their customer even more.
Wow.
And I get it.
Rather than the garage gym pamphlet where it's like, hey, you could start with just this, go make some of these stuff from Home Depot. Now it's, you need a lot of money.
That's right. Yeah.
Brain made me a millionaire. That's awesome. And I knew you guys have the Millionaire Club, which is really cool.
Yeah. I mean, we just certified our 58th millionaire this week. So we actually audit. We make sure like, hey, and the reality is that like none of these people, like, go interview Jason, right? He doesn't care about the money. He cares that his gym is successful enough to be sustainable, and that, hey man, okay, sigh of relief. My gym's doing great. It's going to be here for 30 years. Mission accomplished. Like that's the mission. The millionaire status, it's like, it's a signal. It's not the goal. It's a signal that you're being successful in changing lives. If you look at Candace Wagner, and I hope you have her on the show, she owns CrossFit Iron Horse. It's a massive affiliate. It's the closest one to the games this year. She has full-time staff who are making meaningful living. She's helping hundreds of people, and she can do that because she's successful. It's not that having 400 clients made her successful. It's not that having the biggest space or the most equipment or being the closest to the games venue made her successful. She has all those things because she's successful and she can expand out. So yeah, man, I really belabored that question. Sorry.
No. It's so good. Right. And you've known plenty of gyms that are losing money that have 400 members.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, so I was on this other podcast on Wednesday, and it's called Fitness Business Insider.
Please don't do that. Exclusive content on Chris Cooper at the Sevan Podcast.
I'm going to need a t-shirt then. So
We'll definitely get a t-shirt.
So it's hosted by Chris and Steve Christini, and these guys opened up affiliates. I think it was 2008. CrossFit Markham was their first. And at the games this year, they went around and they were trying to find the 10-year affiliates. And what they found, they were surprised by, and it was a real eye opener to me, is that every time they would find somebody who said, yeah, we're a 10-year affiliate, they were like the third or the fourth owner. So really what you have are these gyms that have been around for 10 years, but they're owned by people who've only been in business for 2 or 3 years, and they haven't learned the lessons that you would hope they'd have learned. So when we're looking at like, what are the most successful gyms in the world, you can't look at tenure, you can't look at head count. You have to look at like, who's the most profitable, because those are the ones who are still going to be here in another 10 years. And that's why you want to talk to people like Candace. You want to talk to Oscar and Carl at CrossFit Medis in Stockholm. You want to talk to Rune, who's got this like 500 member gym, in Europe. Like, you want to find these people and you want to interview them and say, what are you doing? You don't want to host a roundtable where the guy who's going to be bankrupt next month is giving advice on marketing. And that's another place that data helps. Hey,
I know CrossFit has put their foot in the water a few times with doing affiliate mentorships, and then they pulled out, and then they were in and they were out. Are they in now? Do they have anything internally that is a mentorship? Because I heard Dawn say on one of those interviews, what Chris is doing is very, very successful, but it needs to be scaled. or we need to scale it. And I was thinking to myself, well, shit, he had 1,000 gyms go up in Chicago. And I already know that you guys are at the 50-yard line of selling out for the conference next year, which is still a year away. Are they in that space? And there's kind of a conflict of interest for them to be they're not in that space.
Well, they're trying to collect data. I mean, they tried to do something with Zen Planner in Canada. Sometimes companies use Canada as the testing ground for their real market, America, because we look like Americans.
Test our nukes up there.
Yeah, 1,000%, right? Like we get McDonald's hamburgers before you guys do. In this case, around Christmas, CrossFit was working with Zen Planner to collect data, and so. You get this email and it's like, please fill in this form. It's going to be the CrossFit, whatever they were calling it, state of the industry. And so the first thing that you sign is like a release of all of your information to Zen Planner. Well, why in hell would I want Zen Planner to have all my information? Like, no, thank you. So I backed out and I asked our affiliate rep, like, why are we signing this? And she's like, well, you don't have to, but it would help affiliates if you did. So I just said, no, thanks. And, the reality is that, no, thank you, HQ. Like, we don't need your help to scale our state of the industry data. But in 2018, my first pitch was like, CrossFit should have this and make this available to affiliates. They said no. We started doing it on our own. And now I see that it's actually better to come from an objective source instead of within, which would just kind of like perpetuate the whole cargo culture again. You can't trust when you're inside the cult, you can't trust the data that comes from inside the cult because it's that echo chamber.
If we see this as a two-headed beast, right? There's the lifestyle protocol that is CrossFit. Yeah. And then over here on the other side, we have the business, the affiliates. Mm-hmm. And CrossFit's over here in charge of the lifestyle protocol and disseminating the information, what to eat, how often to move, best practices for movement, recovery, all that stuff. And then they're trying to also come to this side, which I don't necessarily blame them, to best practices to run the business and make money. Have you ever thought about coming onto their side? Have you ever thought, oh, maybe I'll start my own affiliate program and come onto their side and have my own programming and my own, I mean, you're an accomplished coach yourself. You're surrounded by thousands of accomplished coaches. Have you ever thought about expanding your business out of your lane onto their side?
I'm an old coach. I don't think I'm an accomplished coach.
You are an accomplished coach with high level and kids with autism. I know your story. You have the whole group of people you've coached. Yeah.
Well, I'll share something that the founders of Beyond the Whiteboard shared with me at the games, which I thought was really brilliant. Mo is such a smart guy, and he said like at that they had been in the game helping affiliates for a decade. And he's like, up until now, we've never done the billing side because we always knew that it would be way easier for us to build that later, to do their thing later, than for them to do our thing later if we focused on what makes us the best. Mm-hmm. And like, there's a reason that I don't build software and I don't go out and create a coaching certification. Right. That's because I can't be the best in the world at it.
Okay.
CrossFit is the best coaching certification in the world. They are the best methodology in the world. They are not the best at business coaching in the world.
And you guys are. I mean, clearly.
I think we are. I mean,
the data shows it. The return customers show it. The respect you get in the community shows it. I wonder. This is a personal question. Do you get if let's say you were the kid that fed my kids lunch in the afternoon, right, at school, I would be really nice to you because I would want you to give them good portions and the best food, right? Do you get a lot of love and support from HQ since you are helping their affiliates pay their affiliate fees? Like, I would think like I would be nurturing the shit out of that.
I mean, publicly,
priority number one is the athletes. I mean, affiliate.
If I'm HQ, I'm like, hey, this dude keeps gyms open so they can pay our bills.
Yeah, but if you're a private equity company that owns HQ, you're going to say like, who can we partner with who will increase the return on investment to our partners, right? And so when we've been having partnership talks for over a decade, at different times, CrossFit HQ has said, can you come out here and bring your staff and run a seminar because all the affiliates around Santa Cruz are in trouble? Yes. And since then it's always been like, can you pay for lunch at this affiliate gathering? And the answer is always yes. Where the affiliate, like the actual partnership talks came to a head was a couple of years ago. Gary Gaines was in charge of the partnership and they were launching the APN, and the conversation was like, what are you willing to pay?
Like a website where affiliates can go and get deals, like discounts, like barbells and shit. Okay.
Yeah. And, the pitch was like, how much are you willing to pay CrossFit for us to like give you leads? The interesting thing was that like, we have a daily email list of 40,000. We already talked to a lot of CrossFit affiliates. And so I said, well, how does this increase value to affiliates if I'm just paying you? And they're like, well, you can raise the price, charge them more, and just give us like, an extra $1,200. And I said, that just doesn't feel right to me. Like it actually kind of feels like rent seeking. And they were like, well, you're the best. We want to work with you. But they had actually made the identical offer to about 5 people like on the same week. Oh. And yeah,
you're the only girl for me, baby. You're the only girl for me.
All right.
Which is, they were honest about it. So we didn't jump on that deal. We said, you know what, we're doing well being the outsider. I enjoy kind of being the black sheep because you can say, hey, the emperor's not wearing any clothes, better than, like somebody inside the church. So while we work for affiliates, we don't work for HQ. And while we do travel along parallel lines, like the way that we can help people best is by being the best business mentorship practice in the world, not by being HQ's business mentorship practice. Hope that makes sense.
Chris Cooper, you have the State of the Industry Report survey out now. Everyone, it will be in the notes to take the survey. Please take the survey if you are a gym owner of any kind. It's just for gym owners, right?
Yeah. 15,000 plus.
And then the closing will be September 13th. So don't do it later.
Do it right
now. Yeah. Before Tyson Bagent comes on. And then also, when will you release the 2024 State of the Industry?
December-ish, we send out so the first thing we do is everybody who put their data in, they get a copy of it. And we send it to an independent analyst. So it's not just me, waxing about, oh, here's what I think. It doesn't matter. Like we're doing science here, right? So we send it to an independent analyst. Here's what the data looks like. And then I write a little bit about it later. But the most important thing is we identify like, what are the best gyms doing? This is like our CrossFit games.
Right.
Wow. I can remember what Greg was saying about the games is like, let's find the best deadlifter in the world and copy their program to make everybody better at deadlifts. That's what we're doing with lead gen, ARM, staff. So December-ish, we'll get everybody like their copy of it digitally. And then we start mailing these out. We send out 7,000 or 8,000 of them through, the US mail. And that happens. Most people get them December, January.
All right. Hey, thank you very much. We will have Chris Cooper back on soon. Chris, you the man. Thanks for coming on, dude.
Thanks guys.
Chris.
Appreciate you.
90 minutes. Thank you.
Take care.
I think it's pretty obvious. Chris Cooper, Two Brain Business. If you're an affiliate owner, get over there.
Thanks for listening. Fill out our survey via the link in the show notes, and we'll send you our 2024 State of the Industry Report before anyone else gets it. You'll also get access to a collection of our very best gym growing resources. Click the link in the show notes to be part of the report that defines the gym business every year.